What's up, guys? This one is going to be a reaction piece on what happened to Team Liquid LTA playoff stock. So, yeah, they just released this, and I'm genuinely curious to see what is actually put out, because we don't really see too many, like, 20-minute plus documentaries on teams anymore, especially ones that are actually interesting, so hopefully this is good.
The players need to really want it, and you need to feel that drive and that hunger, and so far I just haven't felt it.
100 Thieves take down their rivals.
With the death slap.
Toxic's gone this year, so I think I'm not here. I think I chance.
Not even being in contention of winning, it's just, it just feels terrible.
All of our practices went to waste.
And I thought to myself, this is the worst performance I've ever seen in League of Legends in the history of the organization.
What? Okay, that's a little much. You've seen a lot worse on Team Liquid. A lot worse.
So we had a quick chat last night, and I just want to refresh you guys on what we spoke about, right? We're not going to be defined by what our scrim win rate was. We're going to be defined about whether we can actually win the games on stage, okay? We're a team that has a lot of experience. Let's go out there and use that, and let's show up today on stage for each other, okay? Because we do not want to go out on this season with how we have been performing in the last month. We are a better team than this. Let's go out there and show that today.
I think I've mentioned this to other people, but I felt like
Okay, the first thing all I want to say is, like, that, like, intro towards going into their series, there's been so many teams that just swear by that losing in scrims is perfectly fine. And to a degree, that is true. Anyone that's, like, worked in the scene, I've worked in it for, like, a long time. It's obviously, it's nice in that, like, if you're losing, there's clearly something wrong. So you're always working on something. You're actually always improving on something because you're losing, right? The downside, of course, is that the morale hit, like, you know, you may question yourself. And so you just have to make sure all 5 players, the entire team, is on board, understanding that you are working on these problems, you're figuring out these problems, and don't let it, like, ruin your mood. Don't make it tilt you. That's it. That's all you have to do. And, you know, that's not always the case. That's why some teams that lose a bunch of scrims end up just losing a bunch of games. That's also why, like, for instance, FlyQuest on 2020, I don't think they were a good scrim team, if I recall correctly, but they, like, did extremely well. And there's been many, many cases of that. Of course, there's been many cases of teams that have won a lot in scrims and also won a lot on stage. You know, there's not, like, a huge correlation between one or the other in the end of the day. It's just, how did you use, like, what was given to you? Like, what conclusions did you draw?
from EWC to Worlds was like me trying to, like, hold water in my hands, and, like, little bits of water are trickling out. Like, I could feel this year, first 2 weeks of spring, we came back together and we felt good, and then, like, I had the water in my hand, and as the year's going on, like, our good players just, like, trickling through my fingers. So far, this has been a really rough split. Like, actually, probably my roughest split as the LTA head coach. I think that when I look at the progress we're making, we're probably not improving fast enough to feel like we're in a position where we can win at the moment, which is creating a lot of frustration, and it's honestly quite disheartening.
To me, it's like even scream at like tough time or like not be happy, it's fine if you can play well in the stage.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said
Exactly.
the first time against what I seemed like our level or lower level teams,
Yeah.
we were like genuinely getting shit on. So I was just so disgruntled, so upset.
I think that's
that-
kind of overthinking, in my opinion. They can be good. We lose like individual each other, not like team play. So it's
I agree.
so it's like if your picks your problem, you're gonna win this like tournament game. So you should not care.
I mean, I actually really agree with what Impact says. Like, sometimes losing scrims is actually really, really good. Points out, like, your weaknesses.
Yes.
I think losing too many scrims can become bad.
Yes, also, again, also true. It just depends on how you're able to, like, take what's happening. Which it can be hard for everyone. It really can.
We're pretty much at a low point. The team's just in a bit of a rut at the moment. There's not really, like, 2 ways to say it.
in scrim, you keep losing. You lose confidence. You lose anger to like you hesitate to what I do. That's connected to the stage game. Then scrim actually matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much. I think that's different. Yeah.
Everyone deep down, like, if you don't have some ego to play League of Legends, you're just going to be trash at League of Legends. And I felt like we lost all of that like confidence and ego in our gameplay. So I just wanted to bring it back. And then the other thing is I wanted to have a little bit of fun. Like, I mean, I'm the least person that will say, let's have fun together.
C9 proved triumphant.
But even I was like, by the end, like, oh, wow, this is really not fun anymore. So I kind of wanted people to just have some fun. But that's one of like my core memories from this year. That was a fun night, to be honest.
If we lose this one, we're in the lobby now.
Of course, spike ball. But I will say that Impact has been doing this for a long time, and the reason why people or teams have picked up Impact over and over again is mostly because it's not just like his level of play. Obviously, of course, it's the fact that he's like not an import, right? That he's a resident, but more importantly, he adds a lot to the team's planning. Like he gets involved in everything, all aspects. And whenever you have a player who's involved in all aspects of the team, like drafting, strategy, like in-game leadership, out-game leadership, like not afraid to say what's on like his heart, you know, like how he actually feels. That is a big help for a coach to figure out what's going on. Now, of course, his individual play hasn't been the best, but like the takeaways he has there, like yeah, like of course, if you lose confidence from scrims, like yeah, it's gonna be really bad. Especially a team that isn't having that issue, they're just gonna run you over. And 100 Thieves are definitely a high confidence team. And that's what's awesome about them.
Me and Core are gonna win this tournament.
Of course, throwing himself around the court today. Thank God. We need to come back after game 4. That's already 20 minutes of review.
Let's go. Oh. That's fun.
Did they really just do that in between a review? That's interesting. That's actually kind of a nice way to just kind of reset yourself. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, scrims this week have been really bad. I actually had a lot of hope after our games against Cloud9. I thought that we played really well on the weekend. I thought that, a couple of changes in some execution things and we would have been able to win those games. A couple of things went a little bit different. Then coming into scrims, I actually had a clear idea of like what we needed to work on. And now a whole bunch of different issues have cropped up. Like our side laning has just, again, regressed significantly. Our ability to be able to push one side deep and complete a play and then take tempo and go to another play is like really bad at the moment for some reason. Our plays are like dribbling on and on and on. We're not closing like a play well and starting a new play.
The first day.
So I just want to say, when he says like closing out a play and starting a new play, he basically means like when you get those small advantages. So like let's say you just killed them in bot lane, you have the option to like start taking the turret, do plates, reset, maybe you could do drag, you know, there's like a whole bunch of options. And the whole point is that you close out after making a singular play to regain tempo, to have control. So you stay in the, because there's, you can always view League as just basically you either have control or you don't have control. You have initiative or no initiative, right? And so whenever you make a positive play and like you can extend it to get a bit more, but it may switch initiative to the other team, right? So the other team now has initiative to do something because you did that and now you're on defense. Some ways that you can play a game is just always have initiative, which basically makes the game incredibly annoying and difficult to deal with. And of course, there's ways to maneuver around that with like teleport, right? Where like the teleport kind of offsets some of the tempo loss, and then you actually regain initiative, or like you go in an even state and then you get it. So I assume he's kind of referring to that.
By 100 Thieves. Is like, what the f is happening? Okay, maybe it's like an accident type of, like a freak accident day. And then it's, you kind of realize it after the second day. It's like, oh, okay, our confidence is shot. We can't see the game.
And we're just
that's a sick setup.
Games off it, so it's starting to cause a lot of frustration.
They got all the POVs above. That's awesome.
How many? Can we do anything?
If you're gonna play, right?
Alright, we need to stay really calm when we review this game. But we need to be able to get through to our team.
Because they're playing exactly how we thought we were going to play. And we're dying to it over and over again. Nothing has changed. They're one game up, who cares? But we can't lose to things that are in the scouting doc, guys. Yep.
If they came out and surprised us, there would be an acceptable loss. But they beat us exactly how we said we're going to beat us. So let's go out there and let's show that we're smart about the game. If we don't want to fight, don't go in a river, run them around the map. If we do want to fight, go into a river, skip your waves, and punch them in the face. Okay? Let's go, boys.
I mean, again, 100 Thieves is a team that
the players to put in 100
takes space, and if you just let them take it, you're gonna fold.
Because we wanted to make
So you have to punish it.
And I don't necessarily feel that drive.
And I've definitely been there.
Or that
Like,
desperation, I guess, that I felt.
as an
at other
analyst
times
doing a
when we
scouting
really
report, and
wanted
like,
to
yeah,
win.
they did everything I
There's a
thought.
heavy dose of frustration. I
Like
mean,
this-
I think if you ask different people,
Like this guy was clearly a like threat, and we should have drafted around it and played around it. Didn't do it. We lost. Like, I don't know why that's the case. Sometimes I believe that like you're supposed to do your scouting report much earlier on, which I was doing at a certain point. But then players still don't look at it. And to me, I feel like that's a failure on players to just not understand that you can prep for teams, especially at this stage. Stop focusing. You can focus on yourself a bit, but also focus what do you need to do to be able to beat this guy. That's it.
people would have
Beat
different
this team.
frustrations with things. Relatively new team still bringing UG in. There's some teamwork and cohesion frustration. Probably a little bit of lack of leadership in the early game. I would say also there's probably a big side lane frustration, and then probably just an inability to be able to do to opponents in counter matchups what is being done to us.
There's like some days that it's stressful, and you know, people, I guess, try to blame each other in that way.
I think emotional, like if I'm mad or like upset, but I think that means I care that much about game. If I'm not saying anything and try control emotional, that's make my passion going down, I think.
It's like year one when you're playing together and you show those habits to each other. It's like, that's just impact. That's just how he gives feedback. You know, I can take it because we're like winning. When it happens the first time and you're like, hey, why did you push this wave? Like, it's much easier to like take it at face value. But like, you know, the 15th time you've had that conversation, it's like, just stop doing this thing. It's like you have a HP bar above your head. We're just all on like blinking HP bar, like all the alarms are going off in the game. You're about to
Backstage go down.
Shit, I hope people really did a good job of refilling that HP bar, because otherwise we're just all going to one-shot each other as soon as we come back.
It's like, oh, you're getting pierced by Kalista E by like 1,000 times and then waiting for someone to press E.
It was just like a boiling point, like the straw that broke the camel's back.
TL just not living up to their own expectations. They want to be a team that is, you know, competing for championships, that is doing well internationally.
I get that.
And BlackWest has stolen their mantle away from them.
I mean, I've known
I
Impact,
could tell
and I've
at that stage,
and I've seen Impact like how he operates when he was on FlyQuest when I was working for the team, and yeah, he's just very passionate. Like he like I said, he speaks outwardly like what he thinks is right and wrong, regardless if it comes off as like being a dick or whatever the case is, or you could say it's coming off as being mean. That's just how he is. I guess Ian APA is kind of similar in some senses. We've obviously seen other like episodes where he just clearly gets tilted and just like explodes a little bit. Yon, even to a degree, is kind of like that. Yuji, I don't think he's like that really. And he also mentioned like the early game was like not. It was kind of lacking of leadership, which again, I'm not surprised. Like Yuji leads in a different way. Like he can keep up with his path. He can give like the things he kind of wants to do in the end of the day, but he's not like, yeah, I'm a commander. Like, he's not a commander. And so maybe that was what Umti is. I know he literally is called the general, but like maybe Umti really did take on that much responsibility, which helped everyone. Of course, obviously, if he just doesn't have confidence and he's making negative plays, that aspect doesn't matter as much, which I've also seen from commander-like
looking at the
players.
scrim record one day, and we had lost like 27 scrims in a row. And I thought to myself, this is the worst performance I've ever seen in League of Legends in the history of the organization.
Oh, so he's referring to the scrims.
Yeah, it was bad.
This was like the first time I felt like, you know, we can't keep up with the season. Like the season was getting away with us.
27 games lost in a row.
Okay, we are putting with attack aside. I know. Yeah.
I'm just gonna start hitting it now.
Yeah, we should have hit before.
You guys can keep eye contacting champions.
Yeah. There you go.
The only thing is that basically means that you just had one really bad week though, because like you play 6 games a day, so and you play about 4 scrim days, so it's 24 games already, which is basically a week.
But then week 2 start was actually the complete opposite. Like everyone had had a day off, and like we came in and like we actually played really, really well as a team. Like we were alive in feedback. I remember Jan had a really good review one time where it was like, I can't get positioned like this. We actually learned a couple of things about Atakan. Impact was really on. And that really, like to me, defines our whole season, like across the 3 splits. Is like, I don't think we were a bad team. I just think we were a really inconsistent team that struggled to learn because like we were so up and down and trying to fix those issues that we couldn't really get on top of them, to be honest.
When I look at the TL side, Annie, Viego, Blitzcrank,
if they get the initiation, it's going to be so nice for them.
Game 2, just slowly things began to crumble. Like my confidence in the series was low. I remember a point in the Annie game where it was like a 0 Mark Sante face check for me in one of the Dragon fights. I'm pretty sure I got hit by like a Q3 and I ran away or something.
Guys, can you come?
I will go.
I just didn't do like what my job should have been at the time.
I think my ego, that kind of broke my like just decision making, everything. I guess connect with confident.
We had pretty solid early games and we had ourselves in positions where we could fight, and then we would lose a crucial fight in each of the games and then would kind of get run over.
Impact, ulti.
We're just not going. We're just not going. Have we got ulti?
Play with you. Oh my god.
Thunder is good target.
Yeah, I remember this.
Hiding first.
I remember this.
Looking bad.
Annie out.
Not good.
Not good.
Beyond cannot free fire enough. He only gets the 1 as he will fall. 100 Thieves will go up 2-0.
Yeah, those games were really, I mean, the TL just looked awful. I mean, and they did actually have some decent early games. They did. But holy moly, some of their fight takes were just god-awful.
How does it feel playing the games at the moment? Does it feel like they're just taking a lot of space on the map and we're not pushing them back? Does it feel like we're not taking enough space? Like what feels like is the issue?
We not try, my opinion. When I push side and moving timing right, we're not late to fighting that side. So I thought attack situation was awkward to me. So whenever we group, we need to group right, so that we can make a play. Whenever we spread, nothing should happen, so that we can feel free to go side.
Okay.
I think every process is like slow and bleeding.
Okay, because the way it looks to the coaches is that you guys have no balls and absolutely no courage. We drop Herald, we kill one person.
Yeah, not going.
Herald's crashing into mid turret. My jungler's running to crap. You're running to a side lane. You're running to a side lane.
Yeah.
We're not even crashing our Herald on the mid turret. Like, if I'm being honest,
Yeah, the tempo is so slow.
what you guys are doing is playing like f***ing cowards. They're hitting Dragon in my face. We're playing 50-50 smite. 3 tanks are in front of us. 2 carries are in Africa. We actually see them clearly on your screen. They engage.
So they still say that. That's funny. That was a thing that people would say, players would say back in 2022? Or was it 2021? And that was one of the two. I had players who would say, like, this guy's in Africa. Like, they just say to me, he's like, he's just really far away. Like, he's just not going to be involved in the play. So that was just the terminology. He's in Africa. It's just funny hearing him say, like, actually use it. But what he's, like, talking about, like, yeah, I mean, again, like, if you don't have balls, like, how are you going to, like, do anything? Like, how are you going to, like, because that's why he was asking, do you feel like they're just taking space? Are you getting space? And yeah, they just give a lot of breathing room to 100 Thieves to do what they want. And then 100 Thieves naturally just blows right past them. And if you do that and fights against a good team, GG.
You don't ult anyone. You walk back and stand on top of Viego and let him die. Like, let's have some balls. Let's fight with some conviction. Let's go out there.
I think they get fucking steamrolled in game 3 too, right? I think they got absolutely blasted.
How is this Rakan jumping over my Sion and my Annie to kill my Yanara 4 fights in a row? We need to go first. Do you know how many times I've heard, hey guys, next fight we need to go first, and then watch them walk up in our face and just ult us again? We went first 0 times this game. Core keeps saying it. The season can't end like this, boys.
Yeah, fine. Hey, you want to watch? Yeah, I'm watching. I carried the mouse maybe. Good run. Chilling.
Looks
kind of. Got it.
Oh, this race. A little bit.
I can
you
go.
don't have to.
Yeah.
5 seconds E, back up slowly. Hiding again. Not bad.
Sujon,
Am I dead?
Dead. Gabi. Running away.
Too weak, I guess.
Gabi.
Nice. Good job, Ian.
Our fundamental skill level was not up to the place that we can beat 100 devs easily now.
It's felt like we're always following them. And even when we made like very good individual plays, it didn't even feel like it progressed the game forward.
Team Liquid on the approaches to these objectives have struggled. 100 Thieves currently are holding the line together.
Someone block for me. I'm blocking. Taking Sejuani. Impact.
Yeah. And they're just waiting for Team Liquid to stop up, and it's Jan that walks up into River melee range.
I have to go shiver that. Impact. I need you to block the. It's okay. Our June was pretty shit.
You could tell Jan was probably expecting people to be in front of him.
They're gonna get away with a Mountain Soul and a
I also
Baron
remember,
and a like
it's the triple play.
just trying to
Spawn was talking about how Jan would just make assumptions on what his team would do the right thing, and if they don't, like, he's just going to like take the space himself, which at times is good, at other times it can be really bad. And so that's probably a slight flaw in Neon. Like, at times it can make him do incredible stuff, but it's a little bit of a flaw in that, yeah, if your team's not doing it, you don't do it, to be honest.
It's okay.
It's definitely not okay.
It's over, yeah.
GG guys. That's true.
It's okay.
Watching us fall from grace was painful and hard to watch.
I mean, to be honest, when we lost, I was like, wow, we were so f***ing shit. We don't know how to play League of Legends.
Yep.
Amen.
I was like, I didn't think anyone knew how to play the game or do their own job. So another part of me was saying like, well, now I don't have to get 20% win rate in scrims anymore, so that's fine. And then another part of me, the third part of me is like, I can't believe I didn't make the international event.
For it to end early, it's like, man, what the f right now?
It just feels so wrong to like lose like that because, you know, I wake up and I'm like, there's nothing to look forward to anymore, you know? Like I wake up, I'm in my bed, I look at my phone.
It's just empty.
Yeah.
Jobless.
Like, any given day, like, in a most case, I think they were a better team than us. I was sad, and I'm trying to overcome it now.
I mean, Corkus did it all. I mean, there was things he was doing that didn't make sense, but also him and Yuji were clearly not connected together.
Oh, we lose that game. We lose anyways. Just don't talk to me right now.
Yeah, I mean, Dion was definitely giving that in that whole speech that they had.
Really disappointing end to the year, right? So we're all gonna feel it. But I think like a couple of things you guys should do.
Oh, is this the same speech?
First of all, I think everyone should be 4th and now 6th, whatever you want to call it. I think probably got to go away and find a little bit more passion. That, you know, at the end of the year.
I'm probably just gonna skip that part just because like I've already reacted to it. I've already like
he
seen
really
it.
rallied towards the end of the year. I think that Ian and Simon's relationship took a little bit too long to get going. Obviously, I couldn't fix the Umpty situation at all, which, you know, like haunts me a little bit. We should have regrets, right? Like last year we were the best team in the West. If your peak is the best team in the West and your floor is the 6th best team in your own region, and you don't have regrets, then that probably means that you're not a big enough introspective person.
There's definitely a lot more time that I could share my opinions.
The regret I have this year is connected to last year because I think if I tried harder last year, I think all of our stacking problems that we had leading up would have been more exposed, I think, is the main thing.
I just wish I had more time. I don't know, it's the first thing that comes to mind. I wish I had more time. You know, Team Liquid as an organization has grown so much. You know, we're over 300 employees. We have offices all around the world. We're in over 20 different games. We have an enterprise business that scales outside of esports and into gaming. We're massive. We're the largest esports team in the entire world. I haven't been able to give the time to League of Legends that I
Okay, that's kind of funny. I'm just gonna say it's a little funny thinking that Steve
Dodo
is thinking that
and Spawn both have the experience, the knowledge, the passion, the energy, the drive, the capability to build a world-class roster. I'm going to be partnering with them to help them accomplish that.
I just think it's funny that Steve is thinking like that this team was bad in some way because he just wasn't giving enough time to it, but it's like that's not
Always
true.
a point for Team Liquid. I think like Team Liquid's one of, if not the best, like NA orgs there is. You know, if they offered me to come back, I'd definitely come back.
as we go into 2026,
he's like, well, if they offer me, I hope they got
that
they offer
get
me.
back to what has made Team Liquid great, and that is a focus on winning. We are going to build the best roster that we can put together,
which is taking 100 Thieves.
That absolute, unequivocal direction to Spawn and Dodo. We need to set the right pieces around.
Dodo's awesome.
If I was a betting man,
I worked with Dodo on
I would
IMT.
bet on money on Yun being.
He has a really good composure.
The golden boy on my right.
And of course,
playing
anyone who
very
doesn't
cool
bring
with his 2-year contract. I really
drama
believe
with
it.
themselves at all
If you
across
actually
all these
truly
years or a
regret
decade,
something, but you're able to go
good
away
guy.
and you're able to change your habits, change your actions, and do better the next time, then you're going to be a better coach or a better player. That's what my goal is now, is to take all that regret that I do have and sit down with the people that I trust and talk to them about it, and then come back the next year and just do 10 times better and, win again.
Okay, so really, just to recap this, I think my reaction from seeing this is mostly that, I mean, I won't lie, I partially wish they showed a little bit more behind the scenes on what was going on. I know a lot of teams don't do that these days, especially because, like, as you can tell, they filled in a lot of, like, interviews to, like, pan this out. So just, like, you've seen from, like, other actual shows, instead of doing, like, recordings across the entire time to kind of pick these things up throughout the year, throughout the weeks. But yeah, I mean, they just lost a lot in scrims. They didn't have a lot of confidence. They didn't really go into it, the Umti situation, though. We've seen Umti, like, post, like, that he was having, like, a lot of confidence issues and, like, mental health issues. And at that point, he's like, I just can't compete, which is very fair. But we didn't really need to know too much about, like, the real massive impact that Umti was to the team, I guess, through this. And to UG, and then, like, they briefly talked about how they had like a good week or two at one point, but again, they just couldn't really build enough off that, and like more problems creeped in, and it just felt like a constant issue. And I've seen a tweet by Spawn that, like, kind of talked about what does a role player mean and how important is a role player. And he's like, there's always been, like, pretty much a good role player per team, like, to make it work for the most part. And in theory, that is kind of true, because if you think about G2, like, there's been iterations where Caps was actually the role player. Like, he would take on the responsibility to cover, get vision for his jungler, and he would still play a very high level, and it helped the team tremendously. Like, Faker has done similar things, and we've seen what the team's like without Faker, while having all these, like, very well-talented players. Having Faker who can take on the responsibility as a role player while still being good, yeah, pretty critical. FlyQuest is just, again, it's just an enigma team, because Inspired can be a role player. But I mean, honestly, I guess he's not really an enigma. Again, I guess he's pretty much just like in the likes of Caps and Faker and such, that he could be a role player. He can handle a lot of workload while still playing very well. TL doesn't have that. And Umti wasn't that either, because obviously his play wasn't, like, phenomenal, but still, regardless, like, Umti added a certain level of, like, again, being a role player that helped the team. UG is not a role player. Like, he definitely is, like, they needed someone else to kind of take that on, and it didn't really seem like anyone could or would, I guess. And with 100 Thieves, like, I think all of them are actually down to it, especially. You could say that Docu became the role player because he took on the responsibility of playing weak side, and so they could put a lot of focus on mid and bot, and that was really, really helpful for them. Because before, Sniper could not be a role player, but he also wasn't playing well, so, like, it was the worst part. So yeah, I guess that's what they're going to try to look for. They're going to try to look for a role player, and they're going to upgrade some pieces, and they're going to go from there. But all in all, not bad. It wasn't a bad episode.